So I personally had a intense curiosity and fascination for as long as I can remember, from when I was a kid, growing up in Saudi Arabia, with the foods of Gaza in particular, where I'm from, where my parents are from, where I spent, I would say, about half of my childhood. And that fascination stayed with me as I sort of came of age and began to travel and ultimately moved back to Gaza. And I always had it in the back of my mind that I really wanted to write a book. And I knew it was something that would be more than just a cookbook. That window presented itself shortly after the Turkish flotilla, the Mavi Marmara, was attacked by the Israeli Navy. And under immense pressure, the Egyptians opened the Rafah crossing for a few months. And so I just literally packed my things, took my 2 kids with me at that time, and told Maggie, it's now or never. We were really overwhelmed at the reception that we received of people not only welcoming us into their homes, but enthusiastically wanting, clamoring over who would get to share their story first and whose version of a particular dish was better. Oh my God, I'm gonna start crying if I think of one.
It's fine if you can't.
Oh man,
if you don't want to.
No, it's okay. It's just, it's all God, right? So we did the field research for the book under, I would say, really intense, arduous circumstances. It was the summer of 2010. But despite all that, there was all these incredible memories and warm personalities that I like to say we introduced to the world. I feel like there's so many people now that come to me and say, what happened to Ibrahim or Sultan? And I think of all the families that we laughed with the most. It was the Sultan family. And I actually don't know what happened with them. I've tried so many times to call them and get an update from them since the beginning of this genocide in Gaza. But what was incredible about this family was that, to our surprise, Sultan was the matriarch of the family. She came in and said, I just finished harvesting the chili peppers, so I just need to rest a little bit. I'm tired. I was fasting. And in the back of my mind, I thought, oh, of course, the poor woman has to do all the work, and on top of that, come and show us how to make maftoul while the husband just gets to sleep, right? Or nap. And then we turn around and we see that Abu Sultan was sitting there and cooking the turkey that they had just slaughtered from their yard. And so I said, well, aren't you going to be cooking the maftoul? She said, oh, no, I don't do any of that. I give him the instructions and I just supervise, and he does it all. And we kind of looked at each other, and he very endearingly looked back at her and said, is this enough pepper, Sultan? Do I add more, salt? And I don't know, there was something very adorable about it. But I think we rarely think of them as sort of tender-hearted, loving individuals who have children and spouses and share these beautiful moments. Of course, there was also our interview with Ibrahim, who was at that time an 84-year-old Nakba survivor from the village of Beit Lima, who told us all about her father, Allah yarhamu, who she described as a mender of relations, as someone who would, resolve problems in their village, and from which they were driven very violently. From everything was burned to the ground, and they found their way to Gaza, where for weeks she was surviving on betla, on purslane that she would find growing around the olive trees in northern Gaza. And of course, the irony of that is that now Palestinians in the north are doing just that. They've been surviving often only on betla, due of course to Israel's weaponization of food, and blocking of food aid and control of the food system. Tragically, Ibrahim was killed in an Israeli attack on their home in Deir al-Balah a few months ago, and her daughter shared that with me, and she also shared a very I don't even know how to describe it, but she shared a picture of the remains of their home. And she said the home was destroyed and everyone we cherish was killed, but the book survived. And she took a picture of the book, the Gaza Kitchen, in the middle of the rubble, open to the page of her grandmother. And she said, and the memories remain.